So I've been tasked with making a couple of bracelets really quickly. I'm trying to bang out a couple. Here we have 5mm-ish by 2mm wide, 6 inches, give or take, or give, hopefully. I started out as 6 inches. What I do is I take an ingot and I squish it into a square. The square works really good at keeping it uniform and flat and straight. And then I'll take that square at the right thickness and I'll roll it out flat, and you'll get these bad curves going on the side, but that's fine. After that, I will take this, right? So this became this, very simply, you hit it a lot. We're going to hit this one a lot right now. I'm going to give it this hammered texture, which really strengthens up this pure silver, this 999 silver, which is, you know, inherently quite floppy after it's heat tempered. Because it's the right size and almost the right thickness, I will just have at it until it's totally hardened, and then I'll take a file and file down these edges. The edges are quite rough. I'm gonna try to bring them down. So on this guy, I had the same kind of texturing on the side. It happens when you roll something out in the rolling mill. You get these bad textures going on, and they're just because of the compressive forces. I'll take those down, and then I'm gonna hit this with a high grit wheel. I'll probably start out with whatever this color is, straight from Amazon.com special, so I don't take down the high gloss hammered texture too bad, but I'll take down a little bit of the roughness without hitting this with a file, because that'll be too much. And then I'll take that and I'll hit that on the polishing wheel. After we polish this up, it's gonna look just good. I also have like a baby spoon going on. These are 1/2 ounce, this is 1/2 ounce, this baby spoon is a 1/2 ounce. 1/2 ounce is a lot of good meat. It's kind of a good quality. It's got some heft to it. When that turns into a baby spoon, this is a 1/2 ounce ingot right after I melted down, hammered out, and then squared up on the rolling mill on the largest setting. So this is what this started like. We rolled it down into this, and then this. One thinner, flat, curved. That's the whole process. That's why this is so easy. Same thing for rings. Kind of start with an ingot like this, and you roll it down until it's real small. You anneal it 15 times, I don't know. And then you'll get it down and smaller until it's usable. Wrap a band, fuse it or solder it, whatever tickles your fancy. I've got this mandrel, which is lovely, Amazon special. No numbers on this one. This is a nicer mandrel, but it's got a groove in it, so I'm not going to hammer that on a groove. I do not have a bracelet mandrel, so I'll just try to get this somewhere in the thick part, and then I'll have to round it out to give it that real fat, flat, you know, hugging the arm kind of thing. I'll go on the long radius of this. It'll give it that nice graceful curve instead of something real sharp. Ball peen, Est-wing. I'm gonna go across the whole thing lightly, and then I'll bang it in, and then you gotta switch sides, otherwise it'll start curving in one direction and you'll end up with a spring. You don't want a spring, so you gotta take that spring out as you go. So you'll see me flip this around, otherwise you got a silver spring on you, but not a useful item. So here we go, 1,000 hammers. So we got a gentle curve going on. Now I'm gonna do it the other way. You can kind of see the spring. This one's lower, this one's higher. It's gonna do that, so I'm gonna flip it around a couple times over and over again to even out the spring, and you just can't prevent that. At least I don't know. On a tapered anvil like this, it's just not gonna happen. You can see the tight curvature going on here. That's what we're going to bring out the hammer for, but we'll take those and those will smooth out. They're too tight too small of a radius. We're going to bring it out to a bigger radius. I'm going to keep going on this for a little bit longer. You can kind of see the terrible folding going on with the top of the metal is going to fold down as that texture goes in there. I'm also wearing my heavy duty hearing protection. Now I'm going to bring the radius out. Just kind of got a high spot here. I'll just hit that on the anvil. Bring that down, because that's just unacceptable. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to file down the edges because they're just too sharp. We are going to have a lot of dust come off this because a lot of meat and potatoes are about to come off. Round out the edges. Put my tunes back on. So I've gotten these a little bit of a file down. I went on the inside, the outside, the edges. Now I'm going to hit them with the old ZAM, which is polishing compound, but it's black, black, black. Real slimy, gross, nasty shit. So I put on my little finger condoms. Give the old ZAM polishing wheel. My polishing wheel is expertly mounted to a corded skill brand drill. You can maybe tell, I think you should be able to tell, it is way shinier after the ZAM. And hit the edges, that's all fine. So that's just about ready to go. I think that's a good unit. This one should be just as fine. As you can clearly see, I have been attacked by the polishing wheel. It catches me a little bit, but the fingertips should be clean enough. And these two guys are relatively similar. They're covered in ZAM, so these will go get a dawn bath, and I'm going to scrub them down with the old brush. You see how clean the fingertips are? As opposed to the fingers, but the fingertips are the hard part to clean, so that's why you gotta save on them. Here they are. They're quite shiny. I cleaned them up. You guys are a rush job for a friend. If you like these, you can find them on my Etsy. They're alright, you know. They're pure silver, not sterling. They've got some heft to them. They're pretty. They're shiny. They're alright. They're easy to make. Fucking make them yourself. Have fun.